Hi everyone, this is a video on how to build momentum and progress in your meditation. So what I'll be talking about in this video is three main points, and these are the three main points that do seem to come up again and again in talking about this subject with people, in my experience, coaching people one-on-one and also in groups for meditation practice over a number of years. Generally, similar things come up again and again as the most important basic foundational ideas, basic foundational things that you can do to intensify, to progress, and to build momentum in your meditation practice. So there are loads of things that you can do, there are loads of things that I could talk about, but these are probably going to be the most helpful. And if you do these, then you're building a really good foundation. Okay. So, first one probably most important is just like anything, if you're trying to build momentum and improve at and progress in any skill, in any undertaking, in anything in life, whether it's painting, whether it's learning to play an instrument, whether it's learning to play a sport, whatever it is, you want to do it as often as possible, right? You want to put time as often as possible into it, but also you want to do it as many days out of the week as you can. And with meditation, you'll find that it definitely is best to do it every day, at least once a day. So that's the first point. Sit every day, and the best way to do this for almost everyone is to find a specific time in the day that suits you and that you're not likely to be disturbed in, and sit at that specific time every day. Right? That is really the most important thing. It's going to really help you the most. So when you're thinking about which time to pick, think about a time that you're really unlikely to be disturbed, a time that you're really unlikely to have to do something else, whether it's work, whether it's family duties, whether it's somebody dropping by that you didn't expect. So very often the best time for that is sometime a bit early in the morning, when before things get going in your life. Sit for your meditation then, or otherwise, if you're not really a morning person, find a specific time in the evening, sometimes late in the evening, after everything's wound down and you've done everything you have to do. Sit for your meditation then before going to bed. So when you're looking at a time and when you're fixing a time for your meditation, one of the very powerful things about this is if you sit at the same time, exactly the same time every day. Right? Not only will this help you to sit every day, but it will also help your mind to actually get into meditation at that time. That's because your mind is something that works on rhythms and habits very much. So you might have noticed that if you get up every day at about the same time, then maybe one day you don't have to get up at that time, you find yourself waking up at that time anyway. The alarm hasn't gone off, but you've just woken up at that time. It's a habit of your mind. Your mind is waking up at that time because that's what you've trained it to do. Or if you eat your lunch every day at about the same time, and one day you're busy, that time comes, you suddenly find yourself feeling really hungry because your mind is expecting food. Right? So your mind works on these rhythms and habits. It will be the same for meditation. So if you sit at the same time every day, your mind will start to expect that, your mind will start to develop that habit and will start to go into the mode of meditation at that time by itself. And so you're going to really give yourself a boost if you sit the same time every day. The longer you do it, the more powerful it gets. Right? So that's point number one. Sit every day at the same time, find a time and stick to it. And when you're sticking to that time, really try and sit every day at exactly the same time. So if you sit 1 minute late, 1 minute early, fine, no problem. But try not to sit 10 minutes late. Right? You really want to give your mind the chance to be in that groove every day at almost exactly the same time. Okay. So point number 2. Now, this is going to be possible for quite a few people, but maybe not everyone. So the second point is, if you can, sit in the same place every day. Sit in the same space every day. Now, if you're somebody who travels really a lot, then that's not going to be easy for you. But for a lot of people, if you're most of the time at your meditation time in the same place, in your house, in your apartment, wherever you are, then find a space in your house, in your apartment, where you don't need to use that space for anything else. So find a quiet corner somewhere that's not being used and make that your meditation space, and at the same time every day, go and sit in the same space every day. And make that space a nice space to sit in as well. So if you like to burn incense, put some incense there. If you like to burn a candle, put a candle there. If you have a favorite form of divinity that you feel connected to, put an image of that form of divinity there. Right? Make it clean and tidy and a nice space that you like to go and sit in. And then, if you can, keep that space only for your meditation. Don't go there and do other things. It's just for you to go and sit. It's a sacred space for you to go and sit at that specific time. Right? And so when you do that, if you sit at the same time every day, very powerful. Your mind will start flowing in that rhythm. If you sit at the same time and in the same space every day, then it starts to get even more powerful. When you go to that space at that time, your mind will just flow into meditation spontaneously after some time of developing the momentum of that habit. Right? So use that secret, use that tool to give yourself an extra boost. Okay, so third point is one of the most common things for improving your meditation practice that Swami Veda, the meditation master who I trained under, used to tell people. He used to tell people this all the time. He used to tell people this almost more than anything else in terms of really making progress and giving yourself a boost in your momentum of your meditation practice. And that is sitting for 2 to 3 minutes of meditation many times throughout the day. Right? So what that means is you've got your one time that you sit every day at the same time. Now, if you can make that 2 times, beautiful. If you've got a life where you can fit 2 specific times, morning and evening perhaps, beautiful. If you can do more than 2 times, fantastic. But at least 1 time at the same time every day, you're maintaining that. And then what you do is you take that meditation practice, which usually takes you however long, maybe 1 hour, maybe 40 minutes, maybe 30, 20 minutes, however long you usually sit at that specific meditation time every day. You take that same practice and you do it in 3 minutes. And you do it in 3 minutes many, many times throughout the day. And there's a certain way of doing that is particularly helpful, which is to catch the points, the moments of transition in your life. Moments of transition means when you've stopped, when you've finished doing one thing and you're about to start doing another thing in between. Catch that moment and sit for 3 minutes and do your meditation in 3 minutes. So that means, for example, if you drive to work, once you've arrived at work, you've parked your car, before getting out of your car, sit with your spine straight, watch your breath, do your meditation for 3 minutes. Right? Then, once you've gone into work, you sit down at your desk or you get into your workspace, before you actually start. Again, 3 minutes of meditation. Before you go for your lunch break or before you go for your coffee break, you've put your work down for a moment. Before you get up, 2 to 3 minutes of meditation. Right? In between writing emails, in between writing reports, in between projects, you've got a gap, you've got 3 minutes spare, sit and do a 3-minute meditation. When you come home from work, go inside, sit down before turning on your computer, before looking at your phone, before turning on the TV, picking up the newspaper, whatever it is you do. Sit down once you've arrived at home. 3 minutes of meditation. Right, so many times throughout the day, in those gaps, in those transition points in your life, fit in 3 minutes of meditation. What that will do is that your mind, whatever you do with your mind, these are actually really the words of Swami Veda that I'm quoting here. Whatever you do with your mind many times throughout the day, every day, will become the habit of your mind. Right? So what that means is if you're doing that 3-minute meditation again and again throughout the day, every day, for weeks and months and years, you will come to sit down at your specific meditation time for 1 hour or however long, and you will be bringing the momentum of all of those 3-minute sitting of meditation into that meditation for 1 hour. And it will give you a huge boost in your meditation practice. So this is really a practice for everyone, no matter how busy you are in your life, no matter how long hours you work, how many duties you've got, family and everything else. Find those little precious transition points and take a moment, sit for 3 minutes, and you will develop enormous momentum in your meditation practice. So that's really one of the big secrets that Swami Veda used to tell people and give people, advise people to use. If you really want to develop momentum and build progress in your meditation practice, do that. Okay. So sit every day at the same time. If you can, sit every day in the same space, if it's possible. And third, sit again and again and again for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. What I'll do, I'll put up a guided meditation recording for 3 minutes. So that will be the meditation steps, the meditation procedure that is already there in a longer guided meditation on an audio on the website. I'll condense that into a guided meditation for 3 minutes so that you can see how to take your normal meditation that you do in a longer time, whether it's 1 hour, whether it's half an hour, however long. Take that normal meditation and you condense the entire process of meditation, the entire experience of meditation, down into 3 minutes, and do that in 3 minutes. Right, so I'll put that up for everybody to use, whoever wants to use it. So those are the 3 main points for how to develop momentum and progress in your meditation. Final point, just a tip for people who are, because my background is in yoga meditation, so this is for people who are have a regular physical practice. So that would be a regular physical yoga practice, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a yoga practice. If you go running every day, if you go to the gym every day, if you're doing martial arts practice every day, right, you can use the same idea. Yeah. So take your physical practice as a part of your meditation practice, right? So use your physical practice, ideally, very often works well as a preparation for your meditation. So physical yoga practice, classical martial art practice, and many other physical practices are great preparations for your meditation. So build your physical practice around your meditation time. Your meditation time, the time that you sit every day at the same time, is like the anchor of your practice, or the hub of the wheel of your practice. That's the center. And so what you do is you build the rest of your practice around that, whether it's physical practice, whether it's breathing practice, pranayama, or whatever practices that you're engaging in. Wonderful. Engage in those practices and build those around your meditation practice so that they will support and improve your meditation practice. So I'll do definitely some more videos on breath and specific pranayama practices, just the ones that I know and that I've practiced quite a lot over many years. I'll talk about those ones and use all of those practices as supports and as ways to intensify and develop your meditation practice. So there's certain ways that you can do that particularly well. I'll mention that more in lectures on physical practice, philosophy of Hatha Yoga, etc., and lectures on pranayama practices. But if you're doing a lot of different practices, if you're doing physical practice, if you're doing breathing practice, pranayama practices, and you have a specific time to sit for meditation every day, a really good idea is to write down for yourself a practice schedule. Right? Give yourself specific times for your physical practice, specific times for your pranayama practice, specific times for your meditation practice, and see how you go in flowing with that schedule. Now, when you're writing a schedule for yourself for practice, one most important thing to think about when you're writing that is make a schedule for yourself that you can follow. Don't make one that you can't follow. So if you make a schedule that's really ambitious and you think, I'm going to do all of these 17 hours of practice, just be careful not to overdo it. It happens very often. If you overdo it, then you're just going to have to relook at it and start again. And often what happens is somebody who makes a schedule for themselves is too difficult, then they can't follow it and they drop everything. Right? So don't do that to yourself. Much better to make a schedule that's pretty easy for you to follow, that you can really follow without any problems at all, and stick to it and build momentum in following that practice. And then after some time, if you look at your schedule, look at your life and think, well, it's going really well, it's really easy to follow, maybe I can add a little bit more. Maybe I can increase my meditation time by 5 minutes, by 10 minutes. Maybe I can do another 2 or 3 rounds of Nadi Shodhana practice. Maybe I can do another 10 minutes of physical practice. Maybe I can do another couple of postures or whatever. Right? So making a practice schedule for yourself, a sadhana, spiritual practice schedule for yourself, can be really helpful because it can kind of concrete, solidify your plans for yourself and what you'd like to achieve. You write it down, make it achievable, don't make it unachievable, and then follow through. Okay, so that's all for this video on how to build momentum and progress in your spiritual practice, in your meditation practice. So I hope it was helpful, and wish you all beautiful meditations, peaceful meditations, and see you next time.